Hi everyone, it's Tammy, and I thought today I would make a Valentine card because it is getting to be that time, isn't it? And this is the one that I made, and I thought it was kind of cute, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. I'm not sure if I like how this is centered, but you know, you could change it if you wanted to, but I think it's all right. The more I look at it, the more I like it. So, I am using for this a stamp set by my cat, or the cat's pajamas, and it's called I Ruff You, and I'm actually using that stamp and then this dog, and I've already gone ahead and stamped the dog, so I have that ready. And then I'm also using the hearts on here. So for those of you that might be new to my channel or newer to my channel, my name is Tammy and I love to craft. I make a lot of cards and just any sort of craft really with paper, and then I also enjoy knitting and planning, and you'll see all of that on my channel. I have lots of animals and I love animals very, very much. I am using a pre-cut cardstock for this card, and I got it from Hobby Lobby, but when you fold it, it doesn't fold exactly straight, and that kind of gets on my nerves. So I am just trimming off the part that isn't scored correctly so that it will fold into a nice looking card. But these come in a set with envelopes, and they're really pretty inexpensive, so for that I like them. And then I'm going to take my Crop-A-Dile, my corner rounder, and I'm using the 1/2 inch corner rounder, and I'm just rounding the two opening sides, all four, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those corners. Just like that. Oh, I can see why that's okay. Never mind. I'm going to put that back because I don't need that anymore. I'm also going to be using some Pop Dots, and these happen to be from Hobby Lobby too. These are the Papery Shop foam adhesive dots, so you know, use what you have if you have whatever. And then I have an acrylic block that I already put these two stamps on. I put the I Ruff You and these little hearts, and I just laid them next to each other on the stamp. So I have, I don't know if you can see it through here, but there's hearts and then I Ruff You. And I'm going to use my Close to Cocoa, which is just a brown colored ink pad. And for this I need to get something on the side and then something on the other side so that I can stamp off and it won't bother. And I had 2 of these. What did I do with my other one? Oh, here it is. And I'll show you what I mean and why I did that here in just a second. So I'm just going to take my ink pad, ink it up, and then start wherever you want to, but I just wanted to do the bottom about half of this card, and I want it at an angle. So I just put I Ruff You at an angle, and then I'm going to stamp it again with just what will fit. So I'm just, you can see how it's all in a line, but I'm just doing one at a time, and I don't want to start it again at the hearts. I want to start it at the I Ruff You this time, so I'm going to take the hearts off and put the words there. And now I'll put it all on here, and then I'll do the same thing this one. I'm going to start with the hearts, so whatever I started with the last time is what I start with the opposite of what I started with the last time. I'm just going to fill up the page. And I'm even going to put, and because I started with the hearts on this one, but because the I Ruff You was right in front and there's not very much space, I'm just going to put a little bit of hearts on the bottom there. So you can see how that is. It's really pretty cute. And then these are just scraps. So I'm done with that. And then I went ahead and stamped this. So I'm going to trim him out, And I'm not going to pay attention to what size it is really. I just want to get about the same distance on each side of him trimmed off. And I think this will be a really cute card for my son and for my husband, so yay. And then I have this piece of 12 by 12 cardstock that I just had in my stash, and I cut it at 2 inches. So then I have just this piece of glittery kind of pink cardstock, and I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. So it's 2 by 4 on an A2 sized card, which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'll have another one that I can use for something else. And then what I like to do is in the middle of the bottom, I just cut a straight line up about 1 inch or however long you want the points to be of your banner. And then cutting it up the middle like that makes it easier to take your scissors from the side and then just trim them straight up to that middle. It makes it a lot easier to make these banners. And it's all eyeballed. It doesn't have to be perfect. At least not in my world. That's kind of what crafting is. And then I took a doily that I also had in my stash, and I just cut it in half. So I'm using half of the doily. And I'm going to put this down so it's aligned with the card, and it will just be like that. So I'm going to put that down with some glue. So this is double-sided tape. I use mine it's called an ATG. This is an automatic tape gun, but I just use a lot of it, so that's why I do that. It's way more economical for me, but you can find just the double-sided tape adhesive runners, and that is perfect. And then I'm going to put some on the back of my doily, being careful not to rip this. And then just depending on what size your doily is and where you want this in place, I kind of lifted it up a little bit and put it down so that it's on this, but it's kind of hanging off, and then it's hanging off the top for sure. So then I can take my scissors and just cut it at the top. So now it's straight. And then I'm going to take some ink, and this is Poppy Parade, but I just wanted some red ink to color the heart, and I'm using watercolor method. I love this method. So I just put some ink on the lid, and then I take an aqua pen, which just holds water, and this one actually has some glitter water in it, and then I can color with the ink that's on the lid. It uses very little ink, but it leaves a big bang. And I'm going to color these little hearts. And I colored my first one. I colored the headband pink too, or red, but I'm not going to on this one. And then to clean this, you just take it and rub it on a white sheet of paper until it runs clear. And then once it runs clear, you're golden. You put the lid on it and you're done. I'm actually going to take my gold ink, and I'm going to color the headband in with the gold ink. And I might even color, and I'm just roughly going to color the little scalloped edges around the Valentine that he's holding. Oh, and then I also took my ink pad, and I like to call this zhuzhin, but I don't know what the real term is. But you literally just take your ink pad and zhuzh it along the edge to get the ink to kind of show up on the paper. And then I even kind of sometimes go in like that one, and for that I just flatten the ink pad out just a little bit more so it colors just the inside of the image too. Then I'm going to take 2 of my pop dots. You can see I stamped it once and I didn't like the way I stamped it, so I just used the other side. That's another beauty of crafting or stamping. There's 2 sides to the paper. You can use the other side. if you mess up. Come on. And then I'm just going to put this down kind of centered in the middle of this, kind of. Very simple, but very cute, I think. And I think that the people in my life will get a kick out of it. And I guess you could dress it up if you wanted to, but I think it's fun, just kind of simple and plain. I might go ahead and color this one too, because I like that. I'm going to color over the red that I did just because I like the gold a little better. And then I'm just going to color each one of these just a little bit. Doop, 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 doop. There we go. And if you wanted to put a white piece of cardstock on here, you could. Or, you know what I'm going to do, because I think this is fun. I'm just going to get a plain piece of paper. Sorry, I have to go over to my copier. I'll get a couple in case I want to do this on another card soon. So this is just a plain piece of copy paper. And then what I like to do is trim off a quarter of an inch. Oops. On all four edges. And so now this is 8 inches, 8 by 11, 8.5 by, no, 8 by 10.5. So that's what this measures now because I cut it. And then I'm going to take it at, so since 10.5, I'm going to cut it in half. So that's 5.25 inches. And I'm going to cut it in half, right down the middle. And then I may as well go ahead and score it with this, but if you're scoring regular paper, you have to be really careful not to rip it. So this is only 4 inches. I'm going to score it, and I'm just going to lightly score it. 4 inches. Lightly score it. Because plain paper, if you score too hard, you could definitely rip it. And then I'm going to take it and fold it on the score line. And because it's plain paper, you could almost just do this without scoring it, but lining up these edges might actually be better to do that way. Let's do the same on this side. Line up the edges. And then I do like to make sure that that's a crisp fold, so I do take a bone folder. In this case, I'm using my Cricut scraper, just because I had it handy sitting here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I shouldn't have put that away, take my crocodile again, my corner rounder, and make sure it's both sides that open. And this will cut multiple pieces of paper at once, so I'm going to put all of that together and just do the 2 edges that I did on the card, like that. And then what I like to do is take my tape runner and go right next to the score line on the back side of the card. So I go right next to it. And it's okay to go from the top to the bottom. And then I'm going to take one of my pieces of paper and I'm going to line it up in the fold of the card. And it will give me a little bit of an edge on both sides. The top and the bottom, I mean, not the sides. Oh, and look, it didn't cut it all the way enough because these cards aren't a full 8.5 by 11. Oh, darn it. So you won't have to deal with that if you cut your own cards, but I should have measured that first, I guess. So don't do this part. At least don't do it this way. Wah. Okay, let's see. How can I do this? Oh, I can do it this way, I think. I'm just going to cut off another 1/4 of an inch. Sorry guys, this is crafting in real life. You guys really won't have to do that part if you cut your own paper, because we cut it down and it's still not the exact size. So this must have been a smaller card to start. So let me make sure that that's good. It is. Okay, so now that I've cut that down, we're going to be at the same spot that we would have been if we'd cut our own card. So now I need to trim these down one more time at the 1/2 inch. Not trim it down, crop round the edges. And when you're crafting, nobody knows what it's supposed to look like except for you. So the way I always tell myself is, you know what, just, as long as you think it's okay. I mean, as long as it looks good, it's fine, because nobody knows that I messed up, and you don't have to tell them. It's okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one, so I'm going to just line it up with the fold, make sure that it folds okay, and then I'm just folding it right on it. And then because I went to the edge, if you take your finger and rub it against the tape, it comes right off. So there we go. So now you can open it, and really I think it's kind of fun if the top goes with the top of the card. And so you open it and you can put your words right in there. And it just makes it look kind of fancy, I think. And you can, if you wanted to, put glue on this side too, so that it would always come with it at the top. Let's try it with this one. I'm just going to put a little bit. And then it will just stick with it. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I kind of like that. Maybe I just learned something too. So now when you open it, it kind of comes up and you can put your sentiment right there. And then I like that this kind of sticks up too. Just, it gives it a little bit of dimension, so I don't mind. Sometimes I'll even make it do it. So there we go. There's the completed card. I think that turned out really cute. And I know that I think I'm going to give these, depending on what else I make, but right now I'm thinking my husband and my son, I think that they'll get a kick out of these. And I think it's really cute. So there. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.